Good morning to the dignitaries, delegates, and observers of Second International Conference of Humanism and Self-Respect. Today my presentation is on two great men. One is the great social revolutionary Thandai Periyar E.V. Ramasamy, and another humanist stalwart Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This presentation is not for this conference alone. This is part of my research study for the award of PhD at Periyar Maniammai Institute of Science and Technology, Vallam, Thanjavur. I want to stress upon my university. Prior to acquire the status of deemed university, that was the first engineering college in the world started exclusively for women on engineering education. Subsequently, it was upgraded as deemed university status. Before going to my presentation, even though Thandai Periyar and Martin Luther King both are contemporaries, age-wise, Periyar was ahead of, historically, he was ahead of Martin Luther King Jr. Periyar lived up to 95 years. Martin Luther King Jr. lived 39 years. He was shot dead. Mr. King was born in the year 1929. In that year, Periyar started his own movement, self-respect movement. Even prior to that, he conducted the first human rights conference, agitation in India in the year 1924 for usage of streets surrounding the temple to the untouchables. That was the remarkable history. In 1929, he convened a first state-wise self-respect movement conference. With this historical reference, let me start my presentation. Human beings who are discriminated and treated unequally prevail throughout the world. All discriminations are not uniform. The gravity varies. The worst among those is birth-based discrimination. Other forms of discrimination are not permanent and not endured forever. But birth-based discrimination is of a permanent nature. In case of birth-based discrimination, the discriminated is in no way responsible for his condition, servile condition. Yet, birth-based discriminatory deeds cause grave sufferings which are not at all worthy of a civilized society. Birth-based discrimination, called the Varnashrama, was forced on the people of India for many centuries. In America too, it was practiced in the form of slavery and discrimination of the black peoples. Many progressive-minded persons were fighting against this birth-based discrimination. The great leaders succeeded. Periyar E.V. Ramasamy conducted a social revolution in Tamil Nadu, India, and Martin Luther King led the revolution in United States of America. A comprehensive analysis has been attempted to compare the missions of Periyar, EVR, and MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., in their adopted methods and their levels of accomplishment. But both Periyar and King brought changes to the society without shedding a drop of blood. That is through silent revolution. By sheer propaganda and peaceful agitations, they mobilized the people to rise for the cause of equality. The methodology of the missions are differed subtly between the two leaders. King proclaimed that his method was based on the principle of non-violence inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. Whereas in the case of Periyar, EVR, he was not inspired by anyone. It was not by inspiration, but by participation of his own thinking and action. In both the societies, discrimination was caused only by humans. But in the case of Periyar's mission, the man-made discrimination had a cunning ploy that he needed to fight something extra, that is something extra than the American society. The discrimination was advanced as if it was designed by God himself. If it is the design of the God, no one would dare to oppose it. The upper caste planned their supremacy over the rest by drafting God into the picture. So to blast the discrimination, blasting the God became very imperative for Periyar. The king's mission, there was no opposition to God. Sometimes there was total submission to God too. The Christian religious texts do not restrict the minorities from ascending to priesthood. When compared with the Hindu religious texts, that was one of the major differences between King and Periyar. In fact, Martin Luther King Jr. himself was a pastor in the church, whereas such opportunity was denied to the lower strata of the society in Hindu religious system in India. American racism was infiltrated into the society through legal codification and not religion. American racism was rooted in the Jim Crow laws, an articulation of racial discrimination in legal terms. In India, the discriminatory legal code was Manusmriti, which was double sanctified by the religion. The discriminatory spirit of this code has been reflected in various civil and criminal laws of India, which is governing in India even today. The civil rights movement was crystallized in a phased manner after the dawn of the independent United States of America. The founding fathers of the independent America were possessing the outlook towards establishment of an egalitarian American society, ensuring equality and equal opportunities to all. When Dr. King started his struggle against segregation, there existed political freedom in the American society with the Bill of Rights and the Emancipation Proclamation. The US Congress passed the Civil Rights Act. Dr. King pursued his struggle with renewed vigor in such a social and political environment. The political democracy was well proved in the direct election of President Barack Obama by the citizens of America with a mandate for the second term as well. Barack Obama was elected directly by the people in America, whereas in India, even people from the lower strata of the society, they have ascended to the level of presidentship, not to directly through the votes cast by the people. It is not through common electorate. Indirectly, they were elected because of the influence of some political parties to gain some political advantage. Periyar commenced his struggle in the British India even prior to the attainment of Indian political freedom. But independent India did not provide any perfect statute to eliminate discrimination except the simple mentioning in the Indian Constitution. Article 17 of Indian Constitution says untouchability is prohibited by law. Whereas Periyar fought not only untouchable, caste system has to be abolished. It should find a place in the Indian Constitution. That was the principle, that was the cause for which Periyar fought for. On the other hand, it indirectly supported religious practices which are supportive to social discrimination. Periyar did not accept the constitution favoring social discrimination. Periyar unified his mission organizationally and left behind him a legacy to fight in the name of the organization Diravadar Kalagam DK, founded by him, which was led by, after Periyar, Annai Maniyammayar, EVR Maniyammayar, whose centenary is celebrated now. At present, it is led by the ideological disciple, well groomed by Periyar himself, by Asiriyar Dr. K. Veeramani. The hurdle that Dr. King faced was in a way more arduous than that of what Gandhi faced. Dr. King had to forge a new path, whereas Gandhi launched his Satyagraha in a country which had a long tradition of non-violence and pacifist ideals. Similarly, the hurdle faced by Periyar was more arduous than of what Dr. King faced. The age of racial segregation in America was only a few centuries old and man-made, but the age of discrimination in India was more than 25 centuries old and God-made, spelled out as Chadurvarnam Maya System. That is the statement given by Lord Krishna. I only created the division. I only discriminated the people. The evil of graded inequality is that one sect is put above all the lower sects. That is supreme one, then below that one lower, then another lower hierarchy, then that, then lower most, then outcast. Then above all these categories, women, irrespective of the categories, all women folks, they are coming under the lowermost strategy. These sects are more concerned about their dominance over the lower sects, unmindful of their subservience to higher caste. The design would sustain by keeping the servile classes divided and not challenging the discrimination. Many reformers, fearing to fight godliness and theism, had to accept the God concept and then tried to sort out the social discrimination. Such reforms were temporary in nature, because the reforms of the individuals which caused some impact apparently vanished after they passed away. Knowing this very clearly, Periyar was different in his approach. In opposing the social discrimination, he attacked the root cause, the concept of God, and the hegemony of the Brahmins, the supreme sect, supreme hierarchy in the society, in the social hierarchy. Periyar's struggle against discrimination was not an individual effort, but organizationally founded and through sustained propaganda, enlightening the masses with a rationalist fervor, and by repeatedly kindling and evoking the self-respect, the basic trait of that is available in every human being. Evoking the self-respect in them, he was able to effect drastic reform and succeeded. To conclude, Periyar, EVR, and Martin Luther King fought for the humanism to be ensued among humans. Their approaches were different to suit the socio-political environments that prevailed in their respective areas. Let the noble mission of both the humanist leaders bring prosperity and peace to the humanity. Thank you very much.